Okay, part two of this little thing here is if we want to actually edit this mesh in 3D Max. So um, now what happens is, again, this skin modifier is applying the bone movement from these guys onto each individual vertex here. So if you actually scrub your timeline to the first keyframe here, you'll see the character will raise its arms. I think Liam should do this too, but Kira will for sure. And so this will kind of show you that when that happens, the shirt goes along for the ride. And if you select any of these bones and rotate them, this one, I just forget, yeah. So if you want that, you have to go into this motion panel and click the little play button, and then that'll allow you to like animate your bones. But you can kind of see she can move her stuff, and as you move her head, her chest moves a little bit, and her neck moves, and all that kind of jazz. Now, if we want to redo the shirt here, so we have the shirt, we're going to need to edit the polygons. Now, if you just want to move around some of the vertices on here, there's a chance you may be able to just go to Edit Polygons, hit yes, and then, you know, remodel your stuff or do whatever. Let's say you wanted to, you know, make her be a little bit more muscly and like, you know, but like good, not like this. There we go. Okay, you exit out of here and then you click the skin again. Give it some time to think about what's happening with its life. And then if you, oops, you'll have to get out of the play mode. You'll see that the skinning still kind of works. Like it's fine. It's not like amazing, but it still works. So that can sometimes work, but you can't do anything else but move vertices because each of the vertices on a mesh has a number, and when you add or remove a vertex, it changes the numbering for the whole mesh. Especially if you know like add a cut or something like that, and then it'll break it. So let's take a look at that. Sometimes it'll do its best to think about, you know, what's happening. Oops, I don't have my shortcut set up here, I guess. Where are you here? Cut or connect? Sorry, not cut. Oh my goodness, I haven't done this in a while. Connect. So now I've changed that. This might be okay. We'll see. Yeah, it's still doing an okay job. You see here that this is doing something crazy now all of a sudden because it doesn't really know what to do with that vertex. So again, if you're kind of doing some minimal work, you may be able to get away with doing that. But if you're going to do some more serious work, you're going to have to just collapse this thing to an editable poly. Okay, and then we'll work on our shirt. So let's say we wanted to make her arms beefy. Let's make Kira swole. She's been hitting the gym pretty hard. Right, this is like really crappy work, but you know it'll work for our purposes. Right, so let's say we wanted to do something like that. We did like a lot of big changes here. You know, maybe we wanted to you know, add some more definition to certain bits, or I don't know, let's say you for some reason wanted to model something else out on her. If you wanted to, I don't know, I wouldn't recommend modeling a backpack onto her back like as part of one mesh, but just for, you know, this example, let's give her some crazy, I don't know, like a humpback here or something like that. I don't know what we're doing here, but you know, whatever. This is fine, right? So so now what you're going to do is I'm going to unhide everything again. Yeah, that's awesome. You're going to need to add a skin modifier back onto this. And then if you scroll down a little, there's a bones section here. You can hit add bones. It's going to bring up a little dialog here. And it's going to ask you what bones would you like to be associated with this model. You could select all of them, but you don't really need to do that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to select the spine over here and just double, whoops, no, of course that doesn't work. we're going to, I forgot that works in some programs, not all. So we're going to expand all of this. I think there's a way to expand everything, expand all. So I'm going to select from spine 1 to all the way to all the arms here, and I might remove the head and maybe even the neck too, but whatever, that's fine, because I don't really need the head affecting the body here. I might need the neck affecting it, but maybe not the head, so we'll see. So I'm going to hit select, and that's going to add all my bones here, and it's going to do a very poor job of assigning things to this model. So well, I did an okay job. It wasn't like the worst, but you see here, the hands are okay. There's some like really weird stuff going on over here. Part of her arm is like collapsed in here. If you start selecting, you know, some of these bones, oh yeah, sorry, you gotta go back to put this on here. You can kind of see like, oh yeah, we're moving her hand, but like a lot of her forearm is moving, which isn't really ideal, and so on. So that's not really great. So we're gonna have to manually adjust some things. Now, I like to do this in a couple steps. So number one, I select my shirt again, and I'm gonna scroll down here, and there's going to be this little weight solver. This is kind of like an automatic tool for assigning some of these. It might be set to heat map or voxel. Make sure it's set to voxel, and click these 3 little dots beside it here. And I just use the default settings. You can change things around if you want, but you know, I think this will just take longer the bigger you do. But I'm going to hit apply, and it's going to do a bunch of things on the bottom here. You'll see it's thinking. And then once it's done, you can close this, and then let's see if it did a better job. We're going to select the hand again. Oh, much nicer, right? Not as much movement there. Maybe still not perfect, but pretty solid. Probably even good enough for, you know, the side scroller project. Oh, that's a little rough. It's moving a lot of hers. You see that's kind of collapsing in there. So what we could do at this point is we can now select the mesh. And up here, there's a little thing here called Edit Envelopes. Now, the cool thing is, you'll see the bones kind of turn into little sticks under here. We can even hide everything else. And you'll see there's little, like, lines here. Those are all the bones that are that you've added. So when you click one of these, it'll tell you what vertices it's affecting. And the redder the color, the more effect they have, and then the bluer the color, the less effect they have. So when you move this bone, it's basically not moving any of the blue vertices here, but it's moving these at a different rate. So if we select that palm again, we'll see here that it's going to move all the fingers and most of the palm, and then it's going to move a little bit of all this stuff. Now, if I didn't want it to affect some vertices, what I could do is over here I could select vertices and turn this on. And then with this bone selected, I can select these vertices, and I could change what this does. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Where are you? Is it this one here? Oh no, I always forget which one it is. Paint weights, weight table. Oh, is it this little gear here? Oh yeah, paint table is scary. Don't open that. You can if you want. It's this little gear here. So what this allows me to do, you can select paint weights, and you see here you get a brush here, and you can actually paint stuff. With these low poly models, I kind of like to do it a little bit more manually, but it's up to you. So with this bone selected, I'm going to select the verts that I want to affect. You'll see here that these vertices, it'll kind of tell you what bones are affected or affect those vertices. And I can set how strong it is. So if I set it to 0, this bone will no longer affect this. And I can select this bone, and I can select these verts and say 100%, right? Maybe these ones here too. I want these to be 100%, right? So then if we click off our skin, I'm going to have to unhide all again. Now if we move our hand, you'll see none of those vertices are moving at all, right? They're solid. Same if we select this bone here and we move, we'll see there's no bending. Oh yeah, and you see it's doing this crazy. Look at that. That's not good. It's moving that shirt all crazy times. So I'm going to go back in here. go to edit these again. I'm going to select this guy, and I'm going to select all of these verts. Actually, maybe I'll just select this bone here. I'm going to select, sometimes it's a bit of a pain in the butt to select some of these things. And make sure, oh God. And I'm going to make sure these are all 100% to this bone. I don't want any other bones affecting these because it might do some weird stuff. So let's get out of here again. Select this bone. And now when we move, you see it doesn't affect that seam there. Might affect those a little bit, so I might even change that a little bit more. And so on. And then I'm basically going to go through and I'm going to adjust everything, right, until I'm happy with what this looks like. You know, and you know, let's see. See, that's kind of moving this up a little bit, so I might want to affect these a little bit differently, right? So, you know, let's edit the envelopes again, and we have what, this guy over here, this pelvis. So we're going to select these vertices and just say 100%. I want these guys to never move when other bones are moving, only when. There you go. So you see now her seam of her pants will never get affected unless I move this one here. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to actually need to weigh the pants a little bit differently. They might have been weighed a little different from before. Right? I'm going to want to select these pants here. And then do the same thing. Where did you go? 100%. I don't know why it's not showing me my weights all of a sudden, but that's fine. All right, and then now if we move this, there we go. The pants are coming along for the ride there. So that's kind of the quick and simple, or it's not really simple, but quick and I don't know, just quick, I guess, just quick version of reskinning stuff. Basically, you'll do that for each thing, right? So if I change the hair, I would, you know, delete this skin, remodel the hair, and then apply that differently. You see here, the skin's actually quite easy. All they've added is the head to the hair bone, or to the hair is just the head. And basically it's just 100%, you know, if the head moves, that's that. Same with, we have this, that might be frozen. Select the head here. If I wanted to remodel this, it only has the head and the neck, so it's actually quite simple, you know, based on what's actually happening here. So some of them are actually quite easy to redo. It's really the torso and the legs that are hard, especially if you're going to do like really interesting fingers or something like that. So up to you how much you want to do or how little. Obviously, the bigger changes are going to require more work, but you know, go through those steps, do the voxels, then adjust kind of per bone, and with a lot of care, you should have something that you quite like. Anyways, so the next video is going to be about taking this Buff Kira and putting her into the game.